And welcome back to me channel unless you are new here, and then just welcome. Me name is Rusty, and this is me channel where I talk about me favorite movies, mostly horror, and me favorite music, mostly metal. And I wanted to do a few spotlights of some movies from my top list. 5 of them are, one of them is not because I had not seen it yet. So, we are going to start off this little box with I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025. What I thought was a remake, what I thought was a reboot, is actually just a plain old sequel. And yeah, that's part of the reason that I want to do it. So I Know What You Did Last Summer was released in 2025. It was directed by Jennifer Kaytin Robinson, written by Sam Lansky, Jennifer Kaytin Robinson, and Leah McKendrick, and it stars Madelyn, Cline, Chase Wonders, and Jonah Hauer-King. Yes, it was. So, the reason this movie really interested me is it holds a little position in me life, and that is that I have a very good shield against the mob and against critics. Well, first of all, I don't need a shield against critics. Any self-labeled critic, like the kind you see at Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, they really don't. I really don't listen to anything that they say. If I had, I would have missed so much stuff I love. It's not even funny. I feel that when people label themselves that, they give up something to be that. And I just don't see how they have fun watching movies, and movies are fun to me, and so that's what it is. So, but as you look through like people you may follow, reviews on International Movie Database and stuff like that, you start getting these ideas of the overall concept. Even if you don't want to read spoilers or anything, you still get an idea of like what is being said. And I was completely misled. I don't know how. Maybe I just saw the wrong ones or whatever, but my entire idea of what this movie was turned out to be completely wrong. So I sat down to watch it, and I got used to, you're learning these characters, our main characters are Ava and Danica, Milo and Teddy, Stevie, Tyler and Wyatt are secondary characters. But you get used to them, and then the initial accident occurs, right? And that was my first sign, because I was like, wait a second. That's not the way it happened in the original. Because you remember, I'm thinking that this is some kind of pointless reboot or pointless remake of the original. So that initially threw me. It also gave me one hell of a jump scare, because when that, the idiot in the road, the car comes around, it made me nearly jump out the chair. So that's when my first suspicions, started like, wait a second. This isn't the way the first one was. And so I went on from there, and as the movie continued, we have the pact and stuff like that. We have the estranged friend Stevie, who they took with them. We learned a little bit about them, and then now, boom, it's a year later, and we see Ava meet a complete stranger, a girl at that, named Tyler, and just, hi, how you doing? We met on the plane, and they're banging like rabbits in the bathroom at the airport. And I'm like, okay, I guess tramp would apply to this particular character, right? And, didn't see that coming either. So things continue from there. We have, all of these setups and things like that. And the longer that the movie went, the less it seemed like the original. So my little misconception that I had allowed the mob to give me, maybe I just read the wrong stuff or watched the wrong people, but no one, I guess, deep dived enough to just be honest about it. And to tell you the truth, after seeing this movie, a great deal of the people of the reviews on International Movie Database, for instance, which is what I use. I don't really care for Letterboxd, even though I'm there and all, but it left me a lot of the time going, did these people even see this movie? Right? It doesn't seem like they saw this movie. We're not watching the same movie, and it kind of made me wonder about the sincerity of people who leave reviews. Almost like they were told, go leave a bomb. Yeah, I mean, just go leave a bomb. No, you don't have to see it. Just skip it and go leave a bomb. I don't know. Is that what's going on? I don't know. So, the next real big thing that struck me in this movie was all of the initial victims, right, were all like innocent. They were all strangers. They were all people who had nothing to do with this incident. You know, we have Danica and her idiot fiance. It turns out, now she's got another one. And that was Wyatt, right? That kill freaked me out. First of all, that was a fantastic kill. I don't care who you are. That was a glorious kill. But I felt so bad for him because he had nothing to do with any of this shit, right? Nothing to do with any of it. And that final scene with him on the, oh my gosh. And so I'm like really getting into this movie, but at the same time, I'm like seeing more and more. I'm like, there is nothing. Well, this is nothing like the original. Where did they get that from? You know, why did I have this misconception? Who were these people that I was listening to? And I found it very interesting the way that murder after murder after murder was occurring, and yet none of them had anything to do with any of this. You know, and then Tyler shows up, you know, and comes with them. And so, yes, there were a couple of locations. I mean, it is the same town after all. So, yeah, there were a couple of locations that were the same. But, like, none of the kills were the same. None of the flow of the movie was not the same. And I'll tell you, up until the point where the guy gets his neck broke, you know, which one was that? Milo? You know, up until the point where he got his neck broke, every time, you know, the hook man got after one of the people who were involved in this incident, they got away. And some innocent person, like Wyatt, like the guy at the graveyard, you know, and then Tyler's murder in what used to be the store that Buffy was in, Helen. She told me not to forget her name. So, that was amazing. And once again, it was an innocent person who had nothing to do with all this. So up until the point where Milo got his neck broke, I kept saying, like, is any of these people that were involved in this incident going to get killed or not? Because it was like 45 minutes into the movie, and like not one single person that was involved in the incident had been killed yet. Yeah, then you had the preacher and the closet case thing and all these little innuendos and stuff like that. It was very cool. Then Milo got killed. And I'm like, well, you had to kill the one that I liked, right? Because I liked Milo. And it's like, you killed the one that I liked. When you finally kill one of the people involved in this shit, it's the one that I like. Well, there he's gone. So when they finally did start getting picked off and the movie really picked up, and then we started, you know, I thought it was really cool to have Ray back. That was cool to see. And then we see the the involvement of Julie, Jennifer. Why did I want to call her that? I started to call her Jennifer Jason Leigh. Jennifer Love Hewitt, right? But having her back was really cool. But I will tell you this. The Buffy cameo, both of my ears were on top of my head because that's how wide my smile was. To see, because I'm one of those, I'm a Buffy fanboy, right? I can recite pretty much every line of every fucking episode of every damn show of that song. So I'm a total Buffy fanboy. And have always been since it aired. I was right there to cry and freak out and get pissed off at every episode. But, so I'm like, to see her cameo, which was an awesome cameo, just had me smiling from ear to ear. I mean, I loved every second of it. It was so cool to see her back in a horror movie, which is why I'm really excited to get Ready or Not 2, because she's in it too. So, when it was all said and done, and then we start getting to the twists, I did not see that coming either. I have heard from someone like the lovely Miss Carter was kind of upset that they made Ray one of the killers, and I tried to say, well, I can see his point, but I did not expect that Stevie chick to be in it, the killer. So it was a good twist. Fantastic kills. Some of the characters annoyed me, but then others, I thought were really, really cool. I was very, very, very pleasantly surprised, is what I'm saying. I really, really enjoyed this movie as a kind of nostalgia tap on the shoulder, while at the same time being good in its own right. I am most amazed at how I was fooled when I'm so good at not being fooled by, the public, the mainstream public and their review bombs and the bullshit that they say and everybody's issues with pretty much everything, it seems. I think only maybe 10% of the horror community actually likes horror movies. I think instead, this is just me, but I think instead it looks like 80% maybe? Okay, I'll give you 20. So it's seems like 80% of the horror movie are just fake mainstream movie lovers. They can't seem to be both, which you can be. And so they like this little set of horror movies. They like 30 horror movies that were ever made. And yet they call themselves part of the horror movie because they talk about Halloween over and over and over. But when it comes to really being a horror fan, they pretty much hate 80% of anything horror that comes out unless it's just these particular franchises. And so they bomb everything else. That's not a real horror fan to me, because a real horror fan loves the big budget, loves the low budget, loves the indie, gives everything a chance. And I'm really glad that I would have gotten this anyway, because of having the other tree. But it was a very big, pleasant surprise. And I'm okay with the twist ending. I'm okay with Ray being involved and then having to be killed, which I was like, karma came a long time later, but it finally came, didn't it? Of course, after he murdered a whole bunch of other people. But I loved this movie. I really, really liked this movie. And I was surprised because I thought, honestly, because my ranking, of course, is the original and number 3 and then number 2, which I do love all of them. And then, I think the nostalgia is too strong for this to go above number 2 and be number 3 in the list. So it'll probably have to stay number 4 but that's just total nostalgia. Jennifer Love Hewitt and that Brandy girl and Jeffrey Combs and one of the very few movies I like Jack Black in. So I think the nostalgia may be just a little too strong for this to overtake it, but I still love this movie, and it got that spot in my life that you were fooled, because I was fooled. I really did think that it was just a shot-for-shot remake, because that's what I saw people writing, that it was pointless, that there was nothing new, that it was just a rehash. That's the reason why when I bought this movie, I thought it was a remake of the original, but it's not. It's a legit sequel. And you know, the final ending where we get to see that Brandy girl, where she shows up at her house and says that Stevie, you know, the girl, is alive, and she's like, let's rock. I would really like a sequel. I liked it enough to I would really like a sequel. I would like to see Jennifer Love Hewitt and that Brandy, you know, person take on this Stevie bitch. I could get into that. So I really like the length too. You know, this is a pretty long horror movie. It's an hour and 51 minutes. So that's right up my alley. A lot of character development, whether you like them or not. All of that, just, it was really fun. I really was focused. I was wondering. Of course, now, like I admitted, some of the wondering was me was me getting confused about what I had heard and what I believed and what was unfolding in front of me, which was fucking nothing like the first movie. So if you have fallen for that as well, and someone or reading reviews or something, you have gotten that idea, this movie is nothing like the original. It is not an original. It is not a remake of the original. It is not a shot by shot like Psycho, which I like that too. But it is not a shot by shot like the Psycho movie was. It is a independent and straight up sequel that pivots off the first and second movie. And I did not know that, because I flash read a bunch of fucking review bombs that made me think this movie was something entirely different than it was. I love this movie. I gave it an 8 out of 10. You know, I overcompensate on Letterboxd and International Movie Database. I overcompensate for all the liars and the fake horror fans that like to bomb movies. So my scores are a little bit, not much. You know, if you said, well, if you took the overcompensation away, what would you really give this movie? I would really give it a 7 out of 10. But to offset the bullshit, I'll give it an 8 out of 10 score on International Movie Database. But that goes for pretty much all movies, because horror is such a hated genre that you have to do that just to be fair to the movies. But if you've never seen this, you can give it a shot. It is not a reboot. It is not a remake. It is a straight up sequel, continuation of the story. Some cool nostalgia stuff in it. And it was quite interesting, the direction that they took this, especially all of the innocent people getting killed, which was also nothing like the first. You know, the first movie was that. The first movie was him getting them one by one. Whereas this one, you're left sitting going, is any of them going to die or what? But I'll be with you back. I'll be with you back. I'll be back with you. With the next one, I just wanted to really shout out some love to this movie. It has been unfairly treated, in my opinion. Although it does have a 5.1, which is not the 3.3 I usually see on horror movies on International Movie Database. So I think there's some fans. I am certainly one. I liked this. I thought it was cool. And I would definitely buy a sequel with Julie and that Brandy chick back in it going after Stevie. So there you go. Love you, miss you, bye-bye. Always remember and never forget, You are a very, very special person, and I will see you in the next thing that I do. Don't let anyone ever tell you any different. There is only one of you. So celebrate it. And I will see you then. Bye-bye.